Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, we're going to be talking spoilers for the first season of Netflix's new show, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. And joining me today is someone that's been on the channel a lot before in the past, Jacob from DangerVille. Jacob, say hi to everybody.
What's up, everybody? It's been a while, Klayton. We talk almost every day, I feel like, but we have not been on each other's channel in a minute, but we finally have a dang good reason to be, I think.
Yeah, it has been a long time, but this is a better reason than ever to bring this kind of collaboration back. So you just got done watching Camp Cretaceous, right?
Yeah, I literally just finished the series like within the last hour or so I'm fresh off of it.
Yeah, I was rewatching episodes too, because you know you watch something and you're like, okay, now let me just go check everything. But I really like this show. What did you think about it, man?
I was surprisingly caught off guard, and honestly, I'm a little upset at myself for kind of doubting this Camp Cretaceous show, because when all the promos started coming out and we seen it was like going to be like a kid show and then a goofy looking CGI, which we'll talk about more here in a little bit, it just was giving me kind of off vibes. I don't know why, maybe it was just me being selfish, but you know, even over on our channel, we didn't even really mention Camp Cretaceous, and I feel really like we didn't do it a service because this dang show wowed me. For a kid's show, I'm going to say more of like a young teen, like a tween show. This was damn good, and I wish it was something we had growing up, Klayton.
Dude, it's insane because I was right there with you. When they first showed like the original teaser, which was the raptor jumping, it was like a test animation.
Oh yeah.
And that looked cool, but then you see all the artwork for what the people look like, and I agree with you, man. I think a lot of people slept on this TV show and they weren't able to really assess how good it was, but watching it, I was just like, damn, where was this show when I was growing up? This is great.
Yeah. No, for real. Everybody, if you're watching this and you haven't watched it yet and you've been putting this show off, go watch it. It's not just a kid's show. It's totally worth your time.
You know what made it worth the time in general? Like, as soon as you start this show off, right, they show you a map of Isla Sorna. You're like first-person view with some paleontologist looking guy on the island getting chased by raptors. You get eaten by a T-Rex right after you find Dr. Grant's old the raptor flute from JP3.
Yeah.
What a way to start the show. Like, immediately when I started watching it, I was like, holy cow, man, this is like totally different from what I expected.
Yeah, no, it's just, there's a lot in this show. It's very deep. There's a lot of callbacks to the originals, even Jurassic Worlds, Jurassic Parks, every single one of them. Even Jurassic Park 3, where people like to talk a lot of crap about that. There was a lot of that, just like what you said. What was that thing called? The Raptor Resonating Chamber? Yeah, like that showed up, and it was really cool, and it ended up being a really interesting part of the show, because it's the reason how the main character Darius was actually able to get into Jurassic World. And it was cool how this series kind of mixed together being a video game nerd and a dinosaur nerd, and that was pretty much me, like, throughout life, even now. So it's like cool. Like, the main character Darius is a really interesting character, and you know, even though it's kid characters and a lot of it's really cheesy and there's a lot of stereotypes and cliches that get really aggravating, at least at first, Darius is a solid lead character, and I'm happy that he was the main one they focused on. And towards the end, even all the kind of iffy characters got more enjoyable, and you could actually kind of finally relate to them, and they weren't just putting their social standard, like, I'm a rich kid, I'm a social media star, I'm a
track athlete,
nerd.
or a farmer girl from Texas.
Yeah, eventually everybody just becomes normal people, which is kind of how I wish the whole show would have started off, but I guess it is a kid's show, so they gotta add in a little bit more over-the-top quirkiness.
I was so surprised by how deep they went with Darius's character, like where they showed his dad was dying of, I guess, what was cancer or some sort of other...
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, some terminal illness, and like, I was watching the show and I was just like, wow, I can't believe they... Because that's not something that you would normally see on like a Saturday morning cartoon. That's a step above, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that wasn't a kid show quality. That was a real, like, I mean, the Jurassic Park movies don't even have... I don't think they have anything like that has that sort of deep, like, my dad died and this was our dream to go to Jurassic World. And I don't know, it got me a little worked up almost, and I was like, wow, I thought this was gonna be like Paw Patrol with dinosaurs, but no, it's like a legit show. Like it catches you off guard so much.
There was a lot of moments like that, actually. I mean, as well as that was done, even my least favorite episode was episode 7, but it's the one where Ben, the really nerdy kind of
cliche nerd, like I'm afraid of air sort of.
Yes. He got yanked out of the monorail by the pteranodon, and like they kind of play it off like he's dead. And the whole time I was like, they're not going to kill this kid off. But when they showed him surviving at the end, where Bumpy comes, we got to talk about Bumpy later on too.
We're going to talk about Bumpy.
But they show him surviving with like that little hand twitch.
Little twitch, yeah.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, well, if I was writing season 2, it'd be like, that's just like a muscle spasm. He's still dead. Like, but you know, I really liked this show, like the direction they went with it and everything. It's just so fun that like, again, we could talk about deaths too. One thing I was talking to you about off air right before we started recording, the dude that got killed on his birthday, man.
What was his name? Eddie?
Yeah.
Because the camp counselors were like...
Oh, that was another thing that was so good. Like, the counselors were just, like, these perfect... They're pretty much like me, like Klayton and I. They're, like...
These
kind of getting kind of older, but, like, we're always, like the original dinosaur fans in, like, the 90s when we were kids. So I related to them. And at one point, the counselor, the one guy's a little goofy, kind of like, yo, man, surfer bro kind of dude. He was, like, signing a card for this guy. This is how creative the show is. He was signing a card for a guy that nobody seemed to care about because he was like, nobody said happy birthday to this Eddie guy. And then you meet Eddie. Everybody left him there. Clearly nobody does like Eddie. And it just like combined the two scenes like so awesomely. And then he died very reminiscent of Jurassic Park 1. He didn't save the kids. He was selfish and greedy. And
I love that about it too.
Out good for him.
As soon as he learns that there's a vehicle, he like goes and leaves the kids, and the Indominus just kills him.
Yeah, it was classic Jurassic Park. There was so much classic Jurassic series in this cartoon. You can tell that Spielberg had his mitts on it, and it was nice.
What about the 2 other guys that were trying to flag the kids down in the tower, where they were like, there's an asset out of containment, and you see the Brachiosaurus get like killed, like
dropped.
Yeah, just like yanked down. One weird thing is like, even though we don't see the people get eaten, you still hear like the bones.
You still hear it.
Yeah.
It's just as like, I mean, honestly, a lot of the Jurassic Park kills, I mean, you see every movie, there's like, what? 2 or 3 like kind of like brutal kills to where you see someone get ripped in half or something like that, but most of the kills in the Jurassic series are kind of hidden.
Yeah, they're off screen. There's like Dennis Nedry or even like Samuel Jackson. You see his arm, but you don't actually see him get killed. The guy at the beginning, Joffrey, where he's getting pulled into the cage. But it was just so interesting that they did those deaths that way, and you were still like, the kids watch these guys get killed. So
they handled it pretty well. I guess, you know, they're younger kids and they have the internet and they've probably seen some unfortunate things. But man, if I was
what are these kids, like 14, 15,
yeah,
16
I think
range,
so, yeah.
probably.
I think
if
so.
I was
seeing this giant monstrous dinosaur just like rip these 2 guys in half and munch on them, I think I'd be a little bit more like, ah, instead of just like, oh my god, what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's way different from like a bear attacking somebody. You're talking about a giant monster dinosaur. It's just
I mean, the deaths were really well done. I think honestly, you made a good point. All the deaths in this show were very Nedry style. Like, you heard them, you didn't see it, but you kind of seen like there was like a blade of grass covered the Indominus's mouth, so you couldn't see him gnawing on the dude, but you still heard the ah! Like the painful screams and like the.
It was shocking. It was like, wow.
I was like, damn.
I'm so happy they made the decision to make this TV show, and I'm actually so upset that like a lot of people wrote it off like as soon as it was being talked about.
Yeah, I did, myself included, and I was an idiot for it. This is really good. I honestly haven't been this excited about a Jurassic thing since like the Jurassic World when that first came out. I enjoyed Fallen Kingdom a lot. It got me amped up, but like I can't stop smiling after watching this show. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either. Damn dogs.
Leave it in there. It's hilarious.
Anyway, okay, I don't know what it is either, but like the show just it reminded me why the idea of like a fully functional theme park or Jurassic Park in general is so cool. Because you've got the kids doing stuff like the kayaking thing where they go through the caves and they see the zip line. Oh, by the way, the Mosasaurus attack. Now, when that was in the trailers, I was like, okay, this is so unrealistic. Like, and it is unrealistic. There's no way they would survive. But that doesn't mean it's not cool when you're watching it. There's just something about that the way these kids get into danger. It is far-fetched, and I think the kids even mention a few times. There's something like, hey, we are safe. And I think one of them is like, well, we were until you said that. Like, there's jokes about like how crazy. It is weird because all the Jurassic Park movies, they're just, if you actually watch how people get attacked by dinosaurs, especially in The Lost World or Jurassic Park 3, it's actually like, you could have avoided that, bro. Like, I talk a lot about Dieter Stark, about him walking so far away to take a leak.
Oh, yeah. It's like, why you're just peeing, dude. You're not dropping a deuce or something. Like, you're just peeing. Just, like, you're with a bunch of ragtag guys. Just, like, turn the other direction and let it out. Why do you gotta walk, like, a mile away?
But I'll tell you, that's part of what makes Jurassic Park Jurassic Park. So it's so cool to see that stuff implemented here. And there's also all kinds of little hidden stuff in this, dude. Did you see the Spinosaurus on Dr. Wu's computer screen?
When they're going through all the documents and stuff,
that was pretty cool.
I've seen that.
That's in there, so that kind of alludes to the whole experimentation. The Spinosaurus wasn't on InGen's list. We don't know.
It was the first hybrid.
And well, there's that stuff, and there's also that moment where the guy is pulling the mammoth remains from Siberia. That was on the website for Jurassic World. So they're tying together all this like intricate timeline, factual details in it, so you can tell that they really paid close attention to like,
some reason why we might like it, and I think I have two reasons why we like it and why a lot of you people will like it is probably as well. The first and foremost, we never got this as a kid, and now I think we're finally getting to live out a fantasy that we've wanted, like, to see, like, to be as a kid and watching how they would react to this. Because I mean, when Jurassic Park was, I guess, not super big, but I mean, regardless, when we were kids, this is something we would have wanted. So now that we're getting it as adults, we're like, oh my God, I feel like a kid again. So that's really good. And the second reason is, and I forgot where I'm going with that, Klayton, shit.
Well, I agree with you on the first point, at least. I mean, like, we totally... we never got this, and I don't understand why. It's so cool that the generation growing up with Jurassic World gets this, though, and it's even cooler that they've actually included references to stuff. Like, even me, I'm not overly fond of JP3, but to see the little resonating chamber in there, it made me smile.
An awesome little nod.
Yeah, it made me smile.
Yeah, I just remembered where I was leaving off there. The second reason why is that it finally gives the Jurassic series some, like, extended lore. Instead of it just being movie after movie after movie, it puts, like, the pieces together to get a little bit of that, like, nerdy lore vibe that, like, Star Wars or Marvel or all these other big, massive franchises. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, it's confused. Jurassic franchise is freaking massive.
And we never got stuff like that. Like, how?
It's probably the biggest franchise that doesn't have extended lore, and it's sad.
Yeah, I don't get it. Well, I mean, we do now, but, like, you wonder, this franchise is over 25 years old. Why did it take this long? It's close to 30, yeah. It's insane, though. Like, I don't understand why it took so long. I'm not going to complain about that, though, because the show was so enjoyable. So, like,
yeah, I mean, it took them 28 years to do it, but hey, it was good.
It's insane. Like, just the little stuff in this, like how the Carnotaurus got its scar by, going into the feeder crate after Darius. It's not even that, like... It's not the most, like, groundbreaking idea ever, but when you see it on screen in animation, and we've never seen a cartoon show for Jurassic before, so you're watching and you're like, I don't know why, but this just makes me smile. So there's this big bloody slash on this Carnotaur's snout, and you just know from there on out, like, that's his call sign. Almost like like the shark or something in Jaws 2, where it got the burn on its face. Speaking of burns, they blow this dude up.
Yeah, that poor Carnotaur, like, he just got, he got grilled, and he's survived. He's going to be in a lot of pain for a while. He's probably going to die from infection. You don't think this is the same one from Fallen Kingdom, do you?
Oh, man, I've had friends, Tom Fishenden from the Jurassic Park podcast has actually been telling me, yeah, he thinks that's what it is. Because
it makes sense.
It looks like it. The only thing I would think, the reason I wouldn't think that it is because the scar's on the wrong side of the face. But, something could happen to it in the next season, you know what I mean? But when it rose out of the rubble and it was all burnt and charred and stuff, I was just like, first of all, that's gnarly. Like, that's awesome. But second of all, like, that's kind of brutal, man. Like, and the way he did it too, he like chucked the electric prod stick at like the
gas,
whatever, Jaws style, and it exploded. I was like,
I was like, man, did they just blow a dinosaur to smithereens? I kind of figured that he was gonna somehow still be alive, but when he came up, he came up looking like Freddy Krueger or something, like, and then they zoomed in on his face, and like you actually seen like charred flesh. It was all pinky and gross looking, and I'm like, dang, like they may not show too much with the human characters and all that, but the dinosaurs in this series were really, really detailed, and like they didn't hold back, and like bloody noses, and just it was cool, and there was all sorts of interesting callbacks with the Indominus Rex and how it played into Jurassic World and how it broke out and how they had seen that from different angles. That was super cool. I think we should talk about the dinosaurs a little bit here, Klayton. Just like overall.
Yeah, the dinosaurs in this show are awesome. We've got Carnotaurus. Not only do we got Carnotaurus, but they explain why we didn't see Carnotaurus in the first Jurassic World, because it was too aggressive for the public, which was pretty cool. But Sinoceratops was from Fallen Kingdom. We got new versions of the Stegosaurs and the Parasaurolophus. What do you think about the light up, like glow-in-the-dark paras, by the way?
I thought that was really cool. I kind of wish Jurassic World Evolutions had that. I don't think it does. It was just like a cool way of showing like the mutations that all these, Dr. Wu and his scientists are performing, and seeing that in like a really beautiful kind of way when they were going through the tunnel. It was just a nice addition, and it just extending the lore from the books to where the dinosaurs they're more than just dinosaurs. They have like this weird capabilities sometimes.
Yeah, it's cool how, I can imagine if I was actually in Jurassic World, like in one of those kayaks going down some sort of little cave system. That is a really cool thing to breed for your park, a dinosaur that like lights the way or something. Like that's kind of, it's super sci-fi in a really smart way, but I liked them. I liked the Indominus Rex coming back was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it did most of the killing.
It killed everybody.
I think it killed, it did kill everybody. Oh, there's one small thing I would like to say. I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see the T-Rex in action at all.
No T-Rex in Camp Cretaceous. I noticed that too when I was like looking through you see one in the beginning when it's in the video game. So
I guess you can say
like the Site B VR thing.
Yeah, like there is a T-Rex, but it's only for a few seconds, and it is in a video game, so it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Really,
it doesn't count, I guess.
But yeah, they just completely ignored the T-Rex, which in one way is kind of upsetting, but another way
it makes sense with like the timeline.
We get the T-Rex with everything. Like,
oh, true.
It's okay to let the Carnotaurs kind of have like the moment to be the bad guy, more or less.
Because the Indominus wasn't even really the villain of this series. He or she only showed up like a few times to just be terrifying. But it seemed like the Carnotaurus was around more
from
often.
The beginning, to the end. It was pretty cool how they utilized it too. I can't get over the whole blow-up scene. Again, like, the show kept surprising me, and then for them to do something like that, I remember going, oh. Like, as soon as they blew him up, I was like, I think they killed him. I think they Kelly Malcolmed this this Carnotaurus. But let's see. What other
Bumpy.
Bumpy, the Ankylosaurus.
If there's a baby Yoda of the Jurassic franchise, it's gonna be Bumpy. They better sell toys and plush dolls and little squishy little pillow things. I'll probably buy myself one. That is the cutest dinosaur I've ever seen.
It was too, and the way it acted, kind of like
a dog.
Like a dumb animal that just kind of like followed them. Like, I think they call it a turtle at one point. Like, it didn't do anything crazy. It didn't try to like talk to the humans or, you know,
it was just there.
It was just there. It was an animal. And I think that was one of the things that I was really into because, you know, in the back of your mind, you're like, this is a kid's show. What is this, like Scrappy-Doo or Scooby-Doo or something? But no, it's just a baby dinosaur. And
just
like
a cute baby dinosaur, yeah.
Yeah, it works out pretty well. I like also how that builds into the lore of the whole accelerated growth rate.
Yes.
But like that was cool to see like that actually play out in a Jurassic Park show for real. It was also a little odd that like we meet Bumpy for the second time.
And he's huge.
Yeah, but he's also like right by the dead body of the Ankylosaurus from Jurassic World.
Yeah. The Ankylosaurus that the Indominus killed, and you actually see the gyrosphere that the two kids from Jurassic World were in, and you see that dead Ankylosaurus, and then you see little Bumpy is hanging out. He probably connected with that poor Ankylosaurus. That's probably why the Ankylosaurus was so dead on to fight the Indominus. It was
protecting Bumpy.
Freaking theory confirmed.
You know what? That's actually pretty cool how they're able to circle everything back around like that. Awesome. Like you said, building the universe out, making it bigger. Why the hell did it take this long?
No idea for a $1 billion franchise, but hey, it happened.
Yeah, dude, I'm so shocked. I mean, okay, so I guess we should probably talk more about some of the stranger elements of the show. There's a rival company called Manticore.
We've never heard of them before.
No, they're new. They're new. So another company that this girl she sent them off the USB, so they have information from Dr. Wu. Like, are they cloning dinosaurs? Or they're obviously trying to.
I think we're gonna hear this Manticore company come Dominion. I think.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a part to play in the new movie.
Oh! Speaking of Dominion, they mentioned Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler in the show. The first time was when Darius's dad is coming into his room. And he's like, Dr. Grant just learned some new stuff about theropods, and I think he mentioned like it was posted in the Jurassic World forum. And even that, I was thinking in the back of my mind, yeah, that makes sense because Alan Grant wouldn't post it online himself because he hates computers. But,
yeah, someone would have to have heard it, yeah.
Yeah, but then they talk about Dr. Sattler working in paleobotany, which, oh, by the way, her last name's Sattler, not Degler. So I guess whatever happened in JP3 didn't last. Thank God, but
seems like she doesn't last with anybody. That's what it is.
Yeah. You know what? I really loved like everything that they made up in the show, like all of it. I can't believe how much fun I had.
Me either.
I didn't expect them to stay stuck on the island. I thought they'd get off.
As I was watching,
I was like, how are they gonna? Because you know, we're pretty sure they're gonna do a season 2 of this show.
I think they've already made it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna happen. So, but throughout the whole show, I was like, all right, so the goal of them is that they're supposed to escape. How can you make a Camp Cretaceous 2 when they escaped? Are we gonna go home and talk about our PTSD or something? But no, like it ends with the kid. They left these young teenagers or whatever they are stranded on the island. Which is weird because I thought everybody was still there the day after.
I thought that too, unless they've been there for like a while.
Unless there were some weird time sort of deals.
But it's interesting though, does that mean season 2 is basically going to be like the Eric Kirby season where they're just surviving on the island alone?
Probably.
One cool thing I heard people talking about is maybe it'll link up to where those guys go back to Nublar at the beginning of Fallen Kingdom to get the rib bone from the Indominus Rex. It's interesting because at some point we know they've got to get rescued, right? These kids aren't going to get burned up by the volcano.
No, my prediction is that the counselors are going to do their own little thing.
Rescue mission.
Yeah, because how it ended and they were all pretty much fired up and threatening that guy that wouldn't let them go back because he was going to cattle prod them.
By the way, speaking of the cattle prod, I love that little part where the compy right
Yes.
there.
You were going for it. Yeah.
And they're talking about like, dude, it's like 1 foot tall. And I think Darius or somebody says, hey, watch out if they swarm you.
Yeah, total hint to Lost World, to where the guy zaps it and then the compies come back and roast his butt later on. It's total shout out.
It was so cool too, because again, like, it's more than just a simple callback. It's like an acknowledgement of a bigger lore. That's how compies behave. Yeah, they're one little tiny thing, but when they get in a big group, you better watch out. I had a lot of, oh, by the way, dude, the visual imagery of that Carnotaurus running through like the pipes with the red lights and everything at the end of the show, super cool. We've never seen something like that before. All in all, I really liked Camp Cretaceous. I have no idea what they're going to do with season 2. I would imagine that they're going to get rescued by the end, but I guess we can expect to see. We saw Blue the Velociraptor like at the very end of this season, so she's going to be on her own. Probably, it'd be cool if she's like stalking them like throughout the jungle. Maybe she like tries to. Oh, you know what else? The girl's hurt.
She's going to be hurting for at least a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Limping.
I wonder. That's what I'm asking, or I just wonder. The T-Rex is out now.
Yes.
So even with the Carnotaur all burnt and messed up, and with the Indominus Rex dead, obviously these kids aren't going to go anywhere near the lagoon, but they've got the Rex loose, they've got the Raptor loose, there's still Pteranodons all over the place. Oh, the Baryonyx! There was Baryonyx toys made for this that had their own names, like Grim, Chaos, and I think Lobo or something. They weren't in this, which I guess means they're going to show up in the next season.
You would imagine that they're going to kind of expand a little bit more once they're out in the wild. They're probably going to come across. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some, like you said, some blue action going on, seeing more of her.
You think the Spinosaurus could show up?
I mean, that'd be really cool.
Because, it was supposed to be in Fallen Kingdom, so.
That would be really cool. I'm excited to see where they go with it. I want to see these young humans continue to work together and become better people. I really feel like that's kind of a deep message in this show that I noticed as well. Everybody starts off annoying, but they like get their crap together in the end. A lot of life lessons that hopefully people will be like, hey, I'm going to put my phone down, or hey, I'm going to stop acting like a rich douchebag, or I'm going to like be more open and trusting of people, and or be more brave and all that. And I feel like it was the right way to go about all the social stuff going on these days, and there was no like pushy any of that stuff that a lot of other shows are doing. It was natural towards the end with how the characters acted, and it was good. It was good.
And they all come together at the end too, which is interesting. I liked it quite a bit. And you think Bumpy will get bigger in the next season?
Oh yeah. I mean, he grew like 50 times in the matter of like a day.
Like a day, yeah. He'll be like full grown. They'll be like riding him into battle. I don't know. Look, I'm just saying. I really had fun with the revenge of Bumpy's revenge.
Yes.
This was cool. I really enjoyed Camp Cretaceous. Jacob enjoyed Camp Cretaceous. Dude, this was surprisingly fun.
Yeah, if you can't tell throughout this whole video, we're both cheesing and having a real good time. And this is like completely natural. It's exciting. It was fun. And I don't know. I haven't felt this like excited about a nerd thing this entire year. And it just this made me feel happy. And I got it, I don't know, positive.
Yeah, dude, there's so much cynical, like, negativity like all over the place right now. It's fun to just watch this and just have a good time. But yeah, man, that was Camp Cretaceous. Jacob, as always, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Klayton.
Hey, man, this is fun. This is always fun. All right, guys, so now that we've gotten done talking about what we think about the show, we want to hear from all of you. What are your thoughts on the first season of Camp Cretaceous? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? And what do you want to see in the next season? I'm thinking we're going to get a lot of dinosaur action from dinosaurs we didn't see in this one. Maybe even Ceratosaurus or something. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm pretty excited. I don't know why.
Let's go season 2.
It's season 2, man. This was fun. Now, before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it seriously means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video, and hope you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.